All right, here are my photo highlights from the week of May 3rd through May 9th. These are the ones that go over to friends, family, and clients via text message, but I like to post them up on my blog. So, starts out with the fin whale exhaling with La Jolla in the background. I always like those. I like the ones that tie in San Diego as well as this shot. This one I liked based on the levels of this spout, how it distinctly steps up and up and up. Again, it's a fin whale. You can see the lighter right side of its jaw. These are interesting because they're asymmetrical coloration, which is unique for most animals. Another look at that fin whale with Torrey pines in the background a bit. Don't know if I like this one better or worse than the other one. I'm not sure if Torrey pines adds or takes away from that last shot comparatively. And then a portrait style shot. My wife's always telling me I need to shoot more photos that way. I'm not sure that one 100% nails what I was looking for, but yeah. Happy wife, happy life. This was a fun morning. Got out and there was a little bit of hole in the sky. Not a ton of sunlight, but it was a bright glare. So here's a great blue heron hunting. Its reflection, the water, the wet sand as the tide was. I think the tide was probably still dropping at this week in the morning. Another shot from the same morning. It's a tern in its reflection. I like anything with motion. So this tern's got water above its head. It's got water behind it. It's starting to take back off after hunting for this fish. But it also ties in this reflection. So you got a lot of symmetry. And then you have anti-symmetry here where you have the reflections in the ripples from the bridge on the upper half of the composition, but none in the lower half. So I thought that set it off as well. Another look, this one with the wings a little wider. This one, I don't know which is my favorite. I kind of like the other one, I think, but this has got, I kind of think it depends on whether or not you're looking for more or less perpendicular feel in the wings versus this center line of things right here. I'm interested in your thoughts. And then I went and visited the big osprey nest, and there was 3 of them kind of hanging around. I don't think it's time for osprey eggs and little ones yet. This one was scratching its head, and this is I know I'm not pronouncing it right, but nictitating membrane, nictitating membrane. I don't pronounce big words all that well. On some birds, it's much more transparent, and I don't know if it's transparent if it was looking straight at me and maybe I just got it at an angle, but it's got this creepy kind of like semi-opaque, movie wizard look to it. Same thing here. You see it right there. This one was fun in terms of it's got a little bit of details inside its mouth of its tongue. Some nice details along the feathers, texture. Here is an osprey stretching. It was stretching its leg and wing at the same time. Not the greatest fine art photo, but I got a kick out of it. Standing on top of the light pole. This one was fun with the eye contact. I definitely try to not be engaged with these animals. I try not to be something where they're changing their behavior patterns, but occasionally they're going to look at you. This is shot with a big lens, so I'm not right on top of it by any stretch, and it's actually elevated quite high above me. But it's always fun when you get a little bit of eye contact. Another kind of fun one. I thought that this was a mating thing, but it turns out it just stood up there and looked around and then flew off. If it was a mating thing, I don't think I would have posted it. I do see it with seagulls and stuff every once in a while, but just got a kick out of it. This is something that I'll probably have to be working on a little bit more during the next couple months as we lose some of the light. But the black and white detail shots. So this is a little blue heron, and I like the detail that you might miss if there's color in there. Same thing here, working with that shadow. So this was on a brighter evening, but again, it kind of just drawing out the small finite details in these black and white shots. This one was my least favorite of the three. And we got to these guys. Little teeny newborn dolphin out on an interesting day. It was high glare, really not a lot of direct sun, and then the wind hadn't quite picked up yet, so there was a lot of reflection coming, but not a ton of little ripples. So here it is again. You can see the vertical fetal folds on the little guy. The third shot in the sequence. I think this mirroring effect also adds to these shots quite a bit, rather than it just being, kind of dead composition below the dolphins as they re-enter. There's another fun one. I liked this one based on its, literally just about to re-enter the water on its beak, on the rostrum, but also this splash, how it correlates with the common dolphin coloration here. I thought that was strong. I enjoyed the back end, coming off the dorsal, and then how it goes into this wake. So I thought there was a lot of strong lines in this one. This one I cropped and zoomed in when I sent it in my circles, but I thought that it was interesting that this is the wake off one of the boats. Not a lot of wind, not a lot of the swell was decent size, but there wasn't a lot of chop in it. So again, you get the reflections, you get the finite details here in the little curvature as the dolphin's affecting the wake with its weight. Different Osprey. This one's in La Jolla. And then this shot was interesting just from, it had a variety of things that were kind of mirrored to each other here on the lower 2/3 of the composition between these rocks and then the sea lions barking at each other. It was really a low light morning, so kind of playing with the settings a bit. And then back to the Osprey. This is a good one where, again, you can see that membrane, and the membrane looks really clear from this angle. So I don't know if it's a specific individual thing or an angle thing compared to those other photos where that membrane seemed very, very, like a shower door, like, that's not even the right word, just like semi-opaque or that white matte look. Yeah, I'm not 100% sure. I'd have to do more research. And then a strong look at just the profile of that Osprey. They're fun in terms of, they've got this good contrast in their feathers, but that eye, stands out with the beak and the feathers, and is very distinct and very strong looking in those images. Another couple of dolphins. This one I liked because it has this strong line, when you follow it down the dolphin, through the spray, kind of up and down and then up again. It's just kind of a relaxing shot in the details. And shooting this with a fast enough shutter to capture this and a little bit more aperture. I've been shooting a little bit bigger aperture to get a little more depth of field. And I think that allows images like this to speak a little bit better versus if you are too shallow and maybe the dolphin's not quite as in focus or the spray's not quite as in focus. But it takes a decent amount of light to do that with these big lenses. Another pair of looks at a dolphin slapping down. This one I found interesting from a actual technical photography aspect. It's shot at 1/2000th of a second, so it's a fast shutter relatively, and you can see all the details. You can see the little individual water sprays, but here underneath the kind of near the head or the blowhole, it's absolutely this like blurry shutter explosion of water. So it'd be very interesting to know like at what moment, like how hard it's dispersing that, or what makes that different than anywhere else along here. You know, why is that over in this area? Why is it speed blurred and nowhere else? Like how fast must that be going? This one, I've seen this behavior in mating, and I've seen it in hunting fish where they'll swim upside down, but it's submerged. I hadn't really seen one just doing the backstroke on the surface before, and this guy was just quite content for probably about 30-45 seconds to just kind of swim upside down and do the backstroke and duck under a little bit and come back up and do this again. So it was kind of a fun moment, if not, you know, an amazing shot. It's highlights their behavior, which I like sending to my people. And then a pair of common mirrors. And then this one I just found funny where they're all lined up because I don't see it offshore very often. And I think that's going to wrap it up for this week. Yeah. If you're interested in any more of the photo settings and you're on my site, scroll down. They're all there. There might be some extra notes about, you know, either the day or the, you know, what I saw or the settings or whatever. If you're on a video hosting site, I'll link my page below. Jump on over to my page and I invite you to check out this blog and all the others. And look forward to doing this again next week.